Alrighty. It's coming in. It's coming in hot. Let's see. Okay, welcome. Might have been too early. Oh, that says no data display. That's a new thing. Nope, there we go. Okay, excellent connection. Good. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to. Well, how's my mic? Mic's on. Let's see. How we doing? I need to set some stuff up. Here we go. Last minute stuff. Welcome, welcome. Looks like that's connected. Okay, at least chat's connected. Welcome, welcome. Okay, that looks good. Cool. And I'm happy with that. And I'm happy with you guys coming in. Alrighty. Boop 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 boop. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. Let me frames load in. Jeez. Wanted to restart my computer to make sure that my my frames are okay, but we're here now, so I'm sorry that I'm a little bit jittery. I can kind of see a little bit, but I'm sure. Hopefully, if the connection stays good, then I guess that's just a weird price to pay. So it might not be, hitting that that super 60 FPS or whatever, but we'll see how it goes. Because it did have some websites and stuff had a kind of a slower ping than usual. But welcome, welcome. Yeah, it's so slow. So slow to react. Welcome, welcome. Who do we got here? We got iStar, Cookie, Seth, and Dakota, and Sasha. Welcome, welcome. Had a fun New Year's. Actually, I kind of talked about that a couple of weeks ago. My New Year's was actually pretty good. Very chill. In Seattle, I'll just do this real quick. In Seattle, because of current events, we don't want people crowding around our space, So last year we just had a weird virtual kind of AR thing that I think the fireworks weren't real, but we had like this projection CG kind of weird artsy kind of stuff that's really hard to describe, psychedelic. So this year we had fireworks on a Space Needle and AR 3D little fireflies that would become like little objects and do a bunch of local stuff that if you're local then it's like, look at that, and I know what that is. So so yeah, it was like a weird mix that I think we're for New Year's at least, I think we're the only city that did something weird like that. So there you go. So yeah, I watched that and that was really cool. I liked it. Let's see. What did I miss since last streams? Actually, you came in at a very, very good time. We're starting a new project. I know we got this, but I'm going to lead into this. We're going to start a whole new project, whole new thing. So it's going to be Derpy 3D Mark II. This is Mark 1 that I made like last April or something, way long ago. So yeah, the only thing you would have missed was Passepartout, an art game, but you could watch the VODs later for that if you want. But otherwise, yeah. So that took like a couple weeks. That was really fun. I actually had a lot of fun with that. So let's see here. So yeah, this is a new thing. Hi, Dark Artist. Welcome, welcome. Is that my arm? Yeah, it sure is. Hello. I have my arms back, so I don't have to hold my palette anymore. Welcome. So I just wanted to show what the original version of this 3D Derpy looked like. So there's so many little things that's like, I already see like this, you see how that kind of becomes like this shading triangle. That's like a reverse in-gone. There's a lot of weird mistakes that I made with this. There's not much of a neck. You can see like how anytime there's a weird shading like this, it should just be shaded flat. So when there's not a flat, then it's bad. I'm really happy with the tail though, so hopefully when I do this this time, it'll look a little better. So let's see. So yeah, today will be we can't really, you know, start inside Blender. I'd like to start back in 2D. So just gotta memorize what this kind of looks like, or maybe I'll just go back and forth. But yeah, mostly we'll be working on just making the reference images. Thinking here somewhere. Yeah, I got some empties. So I had some reference images that I kind of used, and I think maybe if you even line it up, maybe it'll work. Somewhat. But anyway, you can kind of see like I can use one of these images here and just kind of model around it. Kind of use that as a base and a guide to like make sure that it lines up. Just like that. There's lots of little tweaks I want to do to make it. This does have a meta rig and a rig and stuff. So if I go to this one of these, probably rig, pose mode. Let's see. Why can't I see my rig? I was working earlier. There's my colors. Anyway, I do have bones in here. I'm having trouble trying to actually find. I just did it earlier. Now they don't show up. There they go. Okay. So, it's so slow. I'm sorry. Yeah, you hear me click and it's like 5 seconds later. So I did add a rig, but it's not quite weighted correctly. So for this time, I would like to make it a little better. I also plan it to be more animatable, because right now her face obviously doesn't have any controls or any ways to actually change her expression. So for this version, I would like to make like blinking, able to move her eyes, maybe a mouth, not get too crazy, but at least find some simple ways to like animate her face. So like her arm kind of moves around, and that's fun. So she can wave too. There you go. That's a funny skeleton. Yeah, it's so slow. I'm just waiting for it to load. Ah. That's not responding. Cool. Yeah, so for this time, I'd like to make it a little better. This is when I was just trying to figure this out, and it just doesn't want to work. Or at least it's just weighted wrong. And I know how to fix that a little bit better now. So this will be a fun project, as well as to kind of show that I'm a little better than this now. So hopefully, I'm sure not gonna be like Pixar or like perfect, anything like that. But at least it'll be better than this, where if you move it, then you can see the tail behind her kind of moves a little bit. So that's wrong. When you move your leg, your tail doesn't move as well. So little things here and there. I want to improve on. This is good. Yeah, thank you, Dakota. I must have made that the base one. So that's not actually the tail. Oh boy. I'm gonna sneeze into Flash. Or not. Okay. Excuse me. Sorry. Am I gonna make a MLP AC crossover animation or something? We'll leave that up to you guys. I plan to make it more, plan to have the new one be, quadruped instead. So, I think that'd be a little bit easier to model anyway, in a weird sense, even if bipedals are more, tutorialized. I think it'd be better if it was quadruped, because then I'd be able to, if it was biped, which is standing up on 2 legs, then if I wanted a pose where like if she does go onto all 4s, then I would have to manually like select every single foot and like get it into the quadruped pose. Whereas if it's already in quadruped, then it'd be less of a hassle to then just kind of rotate around her hip and just kind of lift her up, you know, into a biped. They can be a little bit more accurate. So, so yeah, the Blender one here was obviously I got the Animal Crossing Amiibo stand. So yeah, this was meant to be my first stand. I'm trying to do an AC GameCube level of quality, but I feel like I didn't quite do that well enough. Let's say salute, thank you. So I think for now, I think it'd be a little bit better to do start her off as a quadruped, as a base. But if we want to do an Animal Crossing parody or some kind of story with it, I guess being a quadruped be a little bit easier to cover both bases, I would think. So yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, that's an interesting question. I did think about that. And I was like, wait a minute. As well as, if I want to add more ponies, I can kind of use a base version of her, and then I think I'm going to make a base version and then make a save as, and then add on to make it derpy. So then I can go back to my base one that has no hair, no color or anything, and then I can make that into any other character. So that's all the shows do it. All the shows that have characters that are all usually same body type, you know. So MPG4 had like one base, whereas like they didn't have. They had like a turnaround base, but then they didn't. I have both layers. See how well my flash goes are as well as this. Can't do that with Toon Boom, so can't have two drawings on the same layer like that. So cool. I gotta switch these around. I was using Toon Boom earlier today for a little bit of Minimare, so some funky little paper derpy hair still inside there. And it doesn't show up unless I change it. The frame number first. Back here. So what I'm gonna do is just remove right inside of her head. Gotta go into body. Gonna do is basically make her naked, and then I'll be able to have a more general base for what I need. Sounds like the last one. So what I'm doing now is just to make a more generic looking base for this, so I can make the 3D model a little bit more standardized, if that makes sense. Basically, so I don't have to like worry about it making derpy at this point, but just working on it making a general horse, I guess. So I think the legs will be probably like right in front of each other. So I'm trying to make this more orthographic instead of perspective, in a sense that I'll be able to. Oh, it looks really weird. This is if I put clothes on a lot of the horses, because it's like that looks weird. Yeah. I made this stream not made for kids for a reason here. So I'm just going in and guiding and then manually hiding the layers. So what I want to do is probably make this to be very general. So I'd have to undirt my horse just a little bit here. I'm also thinking, because this is 3/4, the way that usual Blender works is that it's better to have a straight profile. So right now this is 3/4. So I think, I'm trying to think what would be easier at this point. I think I'm just gonna hide these ones because I don't think I'm gonna need. I can use this to like look at what the hair looks like for later, but it's just for a horse. I think I'll just need these two for now, and I'll just make these be the primary ones, and then put these ones over here. So this is setting up the reference images so I can have something to work with. So I'll have like the two images. Once they're done, I'll have like two images like at a perpendicular crossroads like this. That'll have the horse at the different angles, and then I can find the in-betweens of it and make something like that. So for right now, having it be a 3/4, it's gonna be a problem. So I'm just gonna quickly just trace my horse and see roughly where this needs to be. Hello, cartoons. Let me get my hand for you here. Hello, welcome. So yeah, so right now I have it be more like that. So what I'm gonna want is what we got, yeah. So that's 3/4. So to make it not that, I'm gonna make a. Basically, gonna have to kind of move and like delete these parts. Gonna have to remove this eyeball, and then just gonna shift this over a little bit. I don't want to resize it. It's gonna be a big problem here. Let's see. So I'll probably pull this down. Let's make it more. Like that. Probably point this out just a little bit more. I know in the Animal Crossing style one I showed earlier, she didn't actually have a nose. Yeah, see here. Even on profile view, it's like it doesn't. It kind of just follows the weird polygonal view over here. Let me go back to object mode. I think there's probably a way to shade smooth. Does that actually do anything? Not particularly. Has an armature subsurface. Whoop. Made her a little bender there. Preserve volume. Yeah. It's made it just slightly, not too much. Beep. There you go. That's smooth. So there's some modifiers to make it smoother without actually without me adding more points to it. Yeah. PS1 South Park. I know. I was going for a GameCube style. Yeah. But might be closer. Oh, look at that. Smooth. Oh, look at that. Smooth geometry there. Woo! Yeah. So if I turn that off from viewport, yeah, I kind of smoothed her so down that she got smaller. Anyway. What was I going with that? That her nose is not there, so if you go into profile view, it's even worse. Can't even see it. Her eyes are so close that becomes a little bit tricky. Excuse me. This might actually be a little bit closer. Nope, that's it. That's wrong. Let's see. She has this little shape here. We'd like to be more accurate with that. And then based on how far away I moved that, already you can see like how she's kind of turned around now. Thank you, Bear Borrow. Thank you. So what am I gonna do? It happens. I don't know. I do have some sort of something. I don't know. It's definitely not too threatening or anything. I do notice that I usually do have some sort of heartburn style kind of hotness. Well, I kind of quickly ate some beans for lunch as a leftover, so maybe it's that. I just ate it too quick, so now I'm just kind of body's kind of freaking out from that. But I'm fine. Boop, 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 boop. Let's see. Just gonna move the wings over a little bit. And key mark is now here a little bit. That should be flat, because that's what I want. Beep, beep, beep. There you go. Yep. Okay, so I'm just gonna push this in just a little bit. So I see like there is this angle here. I probably want to just remove that and then just make this up a little flat. Ooh, that's a little, I'd have to trace that just to get that angle. I can definitely trace my own stuff, so I think that's okay for you guys, right? Yep. Yep. And then all I gotta do is just kind of move it into the right position. I see it kind of goes up a little bit. Definitely having less angles is going to help a lot too. So that's good. I like puns. I like puns. That streams were at 2 a.m. Hi, Brian. Not actually sure where you got that from. I'm not actually sure what time zone that would be. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. So let's see. So I'm gonna. Oop. Gotta get on the right layer. And we're gonna push this over a little bit. Try to flatten it. And then just kind of bring it up. Okay. So now I got this. That looks okay. I think horse-wise, I think probably want to move this in a little bit. There you go. That's cute. I'm gonna see. Joop, joop. If I grab these and then move these down. So the head is a body. Actually, fits the body pretty good. So that's good. Let's see. Boop, boop, boop. We have daylight savings. That's true. I mean, yeah. If that's actually a case, wow. Yeah, especially being like, I don't even know how many hours. Because right now in Seattle it's 4 p.m. So to get to 2 a.m., I don't even know how far that is. Okay. Dude, probably want to move her arm. Probably like a little bit closer. Probably like more, a little bit more in line with her head. Again, this is pretty just the first sketch, so I'm not gonna be married to this at any point here. So I'm just trying to just get this quickly locked in here. Let's see. Just be horsey around. Yeah. It's bad when you get lost in time. Can't believe it's 2022 already. That's still freaking me out. Even on my time cards, I still say 21 sometimes. It's like, ugh. Like these years just have to stop happening so quickly. Already 11 days into January. Okay. Is that cute enough? I hope. There, okay. So I got you and you. Good. What I'm going to do is just kind of push it up just a little bit. And I'm just going to make a line. Printing is to make sure that these are flat. I see that they are not, so which one do I want longer? Let's make this one longer. Just gonna put this on the edge of this timeline bar here. Bring that down. So one thing is to make sure that these legs are all aligned. Kind of like magnets off a little bit there. Now I don't know what a straight line is. Okay. It's pretty close. What I like to do is make a new line here. Even my flash one, yeah, this one's actually a little bit off. Is it? It's barely. That's good. In 3D, this could like completely mess me up with loop cuts and everything. So, woo! So I just want to make sure while I'm here, you know, just to make sure that we're all really squared away here. There you go. Okay. Let's go up and see. I have that line there. So we're gonna have to push the legs down a little bit. So I can grab the leg bips. And I'm just gonna drag them to where this is. Drag this up and say where the neck should start. I think the head's good. About there, wings about halfway. So I think that's good. Yeah, just kind of get that going there. Is that good of a line? Just want to make sure it's all real happy. Probably like from the middle of the eye and then down. There you go. Just gonna pull that down. Thank you for coming. We'll go up. Whoop, 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 whoop. Oops, it would seem. Aha. Okay, so we're gonna select everything but the line, cut it, and then paste it into that layer. There we go. So I'm gonna drag the line up and see anything else. Needs to be lined. Mouth. Good. Mouth. Mouth ends here. So let's move that down. Whoops. Okay. Going too fast here. Gotta make sure doing this correctly. There you go. Here's the top of the snoot. Top of the snoot might actually be a little bit lower. Having it be up there is a little bit too high. Let's fix that. So I can probably just drag all of this and just kind of bring it down a bit to there. Yeah. So what I want to do is make this to be like as perfect as I can, because then I'll be able to use this as a very accurate representation of what I want. If there's anything super misaligned, because we're going to be like using it to, you know, do again the top view, and then if something says an eye and the front view is here, when on the front view it's over here, then trying to figure out and trying to make a triangle to say where it is based on how close it is going to mess things up. So, and it's just good to make sure that your turnarounds are just, you know, as accurate as possible anyway. So let's move the eyeball beep just a little bit down. A little bit higher. That's good. And the ear should start around here. Ear here, start. Yep. And we can bring this down to really emphasize that. Okay. That should be about the same. Okay. Last couple ones here. And then the top of the ear. You see how that could have messed me up because his ear's too tall. Ah. Yeah. Okay. It's really wobbly. That's fine. Okay. So now I got this as close as I can. What I can do is now make a vector version of it. Just real quick, hopefully again. Or I'll just go around it. And just kind of make a nicer outline to this and really plant my lines here. Of course, I could like make like this be more accurate to a like how many polygons I guess I want. Like I can make this be more pointy at areas to like really show like I want this part to be, you know, where I'm gonna have the polygons. But again, as I show, like I'm probably gonna also make it as smooth as I can. I'm gonna go for the same style as basically gonna try to make this style where in terms of shading and complexity, you know, I'm gonna make it so it's as close as I can to that art style. So I'm not gonna do, I could play with cell shading maybe to a point, you know, but definitely try not to go too overboard and try to actually definitely not try to make it too realistic or anything. Realistic cell shading. Cell shading is like in Wind Waker, but it's also in Breath of the Wild to a certain degree too. Deeboo, 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 boop, boop. I see you. Just wanted to get that going. The smoothness of the 3Ds for all. Smooth this. As I said before, like I can turn this on and off. So there's a way to like have it using subdivision modifiers to make it a little bit more round. Even if, you know, the actual geometry here is pretty low, all things considered. I think be able to use this low complexity of, you know, you look at how many huge my polygons are, and then to turn on the subdivision. I would need to figure out how to make this. There's ways to make it so that it doesn't overcompensate it, but you can see like you kind of translate it pretty well. So what I want to do is make this a little bit more higher fidelity and animation more friendly. I want to add like controls to like be able to move the eyeballs and play with the mouth and other bits. So do better weight painting as well. So right now I'm using a texture. It's a 2D texture for the eyeballs. I don't know if I'll be able to really show that off. It's one of these in a corner here. Oop, look at that. Yeah. So right now I'm using, yep. I'm using this whole like face texture and just kind of projecting it onto the 3D mesh. So because it's literally so complete like this, I can't actually really do much with it. I can add like some very minute, you know, mapping nodes or something to add mapping and some vector stuff to be able to play with it a little bit. But the problem with that is obviously I need something else. I need a vector. Vector transform, is that right? I don't know. I forgot what it was. Isn't it info or something? I know what I'm doing. No. Anyway, I could like use some values in here to like move the texture around, but the problem is that by sliding, trying to undo it now. I just delete that. I've done it so many times. Why can't I remember? There's like 2 things that I need for that mapping node. But I can like select all of these. That'd be easier in UV editing. Face texture. There we go. So many things. Let's turn off there. Selected. I think I'm just gonna need this. Beep, 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 beep. Ah, it's so slow. Good thing I'm not trying to 3D model it right now, because things that are like this, it can be bad. Let's see. Is this all in Toon Boom? Yeah, has a creative boner. So this is actually Flash. This is Adobe Animate. You can tell by the node complexity and all of this stuff. So this is Animate. Toon Boom is 1,000 times better, and Blender is the 3D one. How does it compare? I mean, it's apples to oranges. Where we'll get into more complexity of how harder it is and more tricky to do what you think it's simple. Once we get into rigging, it's going to get way more complex. But I wanted to do this real quick is that the only thing I can really do with this, the texture I have, is literally just move the entire face. So what I want to do is be able to move like just the eyeballs and be able to animate the mouth and have some blinks and stuff. So for right now, the way that I made this is not going to work with that. So there we go. I want to show that off. Okay, still vectoring ear. I also put the software and more FAQ questions like that. What was that? Seth? I put that in the description, so it's also some other fun questions that I put in there too. So if you want to check that out as well. And that's it's a lot, but it's a good breed. Okay. How do you see this? Yeah, I understand. And I'm sure if I looked at, this one told me like, what is this between like Clip Studio Paint and GIMP and all those other ones, I'd be just as confused too. So no worries. Yeah. It's all right. There was another like project from someone who commissioned me like years ago. Who wants to do a project. They already got another animator or something, and they're gonna use Anime Studio or Moho or one of those. And it's like I was like getting ready to like work with them and everything. We haven't really started anything on it yet, so thankfully nothing set in stone or anything like that. So, but yeah, it's like, well, I don't have the animation software that they're gonna use, and it's like, well, now what do we do? Where it's like, either I have to learn a completely new, and get my own new software, or I could just try and just mesh our styles together and make sure that we, make it seem like we're using the same animation program, hopefully. So, actually, I haven't really started yet, so that's still a pipe dream. I'm trying to figure that out, but yeah. Could be worse. Let's see. Boop, 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 boop. Probably could add learning Blender description for a job question. Woo! Well, that's true. If someone commissioned me to do a Blender job, I probably have to be very careful and say that, yeah, I'm but a sprout at learning this with Blender. So I do have a bunch of Blender stuff in my portfolio website, YoshiGreenwater.com. On my animation reel, so there's that in there, but I know what you mean. There you go. Color, 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 and I guess it's on color. I can just get this. It's complicated, especially if you don't know what you're looking at. If you don't know what you're looking for, as a 2D animator, you know, I already understand the basics of here's the timeline as thing moves over. Where you can see her shirt coming in and out. I guess I can do that real quick. I can just set her to still. As vertical timeline graph go right, then things can change over time. So, you know, just knowing very, very general animation stuff helped me a lot, especially when I was doing the SFM animation from like a while ago, not too long ago. That was much more classic animation software style, where I basically just had to like go by instinct of like how to animate it. Like I didn't really read too many manuals, but just like enough manuals to like know like how to move through time, how to move, you know, objects around, like what to press to make things go. But everything else of like with the SFM animation, it was mostly just me just knowing animation in general with software stuff, and just taking that kind of knowledge and going like, okay, at least I know how to get myself around some of these programs, so I can kind of just use that to my advantage, you know. And just knowing a little bit of 3D from very, very little Blender stuff, so that helped a lot as well. So what I'm going to do is also take off her hair, just so I can have a very, very basic base. I also want to add her eyebrows, or eyelids things. I want to do that as well. Add that onto here. But yeah, that was a lot of like weird instincts of like, okay, so obviously you have like more channels and more complexity to work with 3D than 2D, because you can move 2D stuff in X, Y, and that's it. And to rotate, you know, you have one axis, which is this one. With 3D, you have X, Y, and Z, and then to rotate it, X, Y, and Z. So even just doing that, as well as of course scale and stuff in different directions as well. So adding this, you know, extra dimension is the only like weird caveat that's like, whoa, that's more complicated. I think past that, it's more just playing to camera is basically just how you kind of get it, make it more, play to camera to make it more simplified. Like, don't worry if this doesn't look good from the back view of what this looks like from the back angle. I would say the opposite is like, you only had to care about what's actually being viewed from the camera. If it looks bad from the back view, the camera is not going to be over there, so don't actually worry about it. I like to animate it from the opposite view, because it kind of helps me, because then I can have both views at the same time to make sure that everything's kind of being covered. But if something's being clipped or something's actually being wrong or something on the back side, I think it's okay. You know, obviously to a point, you know. But I think it's, all you gotta do is really just care about what's actually being viewed on the camera. Camera can't see it, then don't have to worry about it. Because you can have like 1,000 objects freaking out with physics behind the camera, but, you know, it's not gonna hurt anybody, because no one can see it. The same with 2D stuff as well. You can hide, you know, outside of this. Ooh, we're learning the passport too. Keywords here. We're learning words. So everything outside of the white square here, outside here, I can put her on the outside, and if I hide with passport 2 on, she becomes invisible. So I can have literally whatever I want, you know, hanging out here in 2D mode, you know, and she could be doing whatever she wants. And it could be completely broken. You have a background that just ends right here, fine, you know. As long as the camera doesn't pan over there, it's fine, you know. But you can have really whatever you want on the outside of a frame. So that kind of simplifies it to that point. Obviously, if you start to have much more complicated camera moves where the camera does a 360, you know, around the character environment, then it Derpy model profile, then you sort of have to then figure that out. But I think otherwise it's okay. Okay, so I got my nude horses hanging out here. Very, very general there. I think the ears might be a bit tricky, but that way. Well, let's see how it goes. I don't think this isn't really gonna mess too much. I want to make this a little bit lower. Have less of a forehead here. More just incompensating for her big hair. So I'm gonna bring this down a little bit. There you go. And smoothing this out just a little bit here. But yeah. So you can like look back through like the SFM animation of how I was animating, and it's like just kind of pretty simple. Of like, you know, obviously blocking it out helps a ton. Where I do it in phases, where instead of like here's first frame, let me pose her to be exact. Here's second frame, let me pose that to be exact. 3, 4, do everything. 4, 5, 6. I more go. Here's my general on a timeline, like here's 10 frames I need her to be at this pose. Make that pose, you know, 20, make that pose. But I also just kind of figure like, here's the body poses, and don't worry about the face. Just kind of put her head and body and maybe some arms in a very general place. And then do maybe the face stuff. Maybe like move her face, and then maybe then add some blinks, and then maybe later do her mouth. So it becomes this slightly repetitive in a sense that you're kind of just going through the same scene like over and over and over, but I think it becomes a bit more coherent when you're just focusing on, I'm going to work on the eyeball, and then all the way through the entire timeline, and then see how that looks, and then do the next thing, and the next part. At least that's how I work. I think that's, I don't know how standard that is, but I think that helps a lot. I was trying to figure out match contents. There you go. And kind of shrink them down just a bit. No, I had a keyframe at the end frame here. And shrink them down like 5%. Okay, cool. Ooh, and check this out. I'm going to save this as an image, so I'm going to put this on my computer. So you guys get to hang out in my new screen. Check this out. Whoop! Excuse me. It's not responding. Here we go. Boop. It's taking actually a little bit. I'm looking for a dialog box to actually save this as an image, and it's really taking a bit here. I'm just kind of waiting for it to not crash at this point. There we go. Okay. Might have been calculating through everything and calculating the transparency. Save. That's me cracking my knuckle, sorry. Where do I want to put this? I'm gonna put it here. Should be blender turnaround. That sounds good. Save. Yeah, I made this last night. It was really fun. I'm gonna go into Blender. I'm gonna open, save, my new, where do we go? Where is it? This one? That looks good. Beep. Okay. Actually, I should probably just do this real quick as well. Let's add a new image. So I'm now in Blender, and I'm gonna add a reference picture, and that opens a dialog box. So yeah, you only would have saw it for like a couple of seconds. Documents. Show my 18 plus. Oh jeez. Love how she bounces as she blinks. Yeah, that's my signature type of animation style. And kind of fun bouncy. There we go. Okay. Let's turn keyframes off. And undo that. Beep. There we go. Boop 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 boop. Hey, so now we got the image in Blender. Check that out. So I open a new scene. Let's actually zero these out. Let's get X. Actually, 90 would be probably better there. Z, 90. Z, nope. Negative 90. There we go. So now we're good. So if I go into camera, that's right. Let's center this out. And we want Z to be about 1. 1.5. 2. Basically, yeah, she's just on there. Now, I was looking at different tutorials to see what's the best way to go about doing this. It's always good to like make sure that you watch a tutorial to see if there's a better way than what you already know. So what I'm gonna do is also go to there and hide that. Whoops. Hide that. Okay. I'm gonna see, is there a way to edit this? Not really. Cool. Maybe I should have made this as an image as a plane instead. That might have helped. Maybe just kind of rotate it Z 90 and then align it. Basically align it on the Y0, same height, but now I can go to opposite Y view. Actually, she needs to be rotated negative 90. Nope. Z 180, and then place that about there. So let's figure out which should be. Oh, that's fun. It's already 3D. Check that out. If I move her along the X, probably put her leg around the right spot. That's crazy. Yeah, so the only problem is that you can see the other image. So I probably want to spend some time and remove that or figure out a way to mask the other one out, you know? So that's obviously going to get a little tricky. Filter, selectability, and I'm going to turn them off. So now they're locked, so I can't touch them. There you go. That's the starting of this. So all this craziness is... Let's not hide everything. So we got the block already. We got the plane. Let's get rid of the plane. Gotta keep the block. Gotta keep the default cube. Then we can just kind of go in and go into each mode here. Go into orthographic view. See front orthographic. I don't know if we can read that. That basically removes perspective, where you can see like you can see a lot more. But basically, yeah, so this is front perspective, so you can see like how far it goes into the distance. So it basically removes all perspective. So we can already see that there might be a scaling issue. I don't know. Let's go back. Probably just need to add some edge loops, and let's just do that now. And then let's just do it on both sides, and then bring this one up. Oop. There you go. So that's the top there, and that's the top there. So already I think the head might be a little bit higher on the front view. So this is good to see whether or not things are actually working, and maybe it's not. Maybe I'll just go with, let's just go with that then, just to see. Maybe I'll just kind of center that down now. I want to put this back. So let's see. I can hopefully just grab all of these ones and scale Z to flatten it. There you go. Put it back in the center. Okay. So for right now, what do we got? We got really laggy. There you go. Don't need animation right now, so we're gonna bring these down. So what we're gonna do is just probably just duplicate that, and then do the same thing for the body. Start super simple, and it's gonna be really important. So I already have. Oops, trying to look through here. So I'm gonna extrude that. So there you go. And if I add a couple more edge loops between here and here, added that a couple more between here and the edges there, and then add a couple more. So I'm adding edge loops so I can have the legs to pop out. It's about there. Let's see, so I can grab like this one, this one, this one, and this one, and then grab these down. And then see the height of it. Yeah, just kind of put that at the bottom. There you go. So already, there we go. And it made a Minecraft version of her. Perfect. I think that's actually about as much as we could probably actually do for today. I probably need to spend some time and really make sure that the references are like perfect. As I already see, like there's some discrepancies and some other stuff I'll have to figure out. But I think on the whole, this is actually looking pretty good. Probably add a nose in real quick. Add another edge loop and bring these in a little bit. And then kind of bring these out. There you go. Now we're horse. Done. All right. Did you want to see more? I mean, would you want to come back next time and we'll hopefully have this a little better? There we go. It's perfect. What do we got? Just making sure. There you go. Okay. But yeah, I don't think there's much more I can do, especially as we're closer to the end of this stream anyway, as well as I have to make sure that everything's completely perfect with the reference images, and also probably have like 2 images instead of having one, because I have one image that has both sides, and I think it'd be a little better to have both on both as separate, so that'll make it a little bit easier. So definitely get the framework, and yeah, we add a color onto it. What's a good horse Minecraft color? So, I think she's slightly blue or something. Maybe I should get my references back. I can take this color, hopefully. Yeah, alright. There we go. Turn these off. Render that. Don't need to add any bones, whatever. That's fine. There we go. Obviously, I will keep working on this. Yeah, it's just right now it's kind of tricky to really do anything, especially as we're at the end of this anyway. So, but yeah, tune in on Thursday when we'll I'll have some more the references done, and I'll add more detail into this to make it a little better than what this is right now. I had to undo a couple things because I just wanted to do it real quick, but obviously that didn't take too long to model this, so yeah, once I do it for real, it'll look a little better. Just trying to do the nose, I think probably broke some stuff, and just the legs might not be perfect. It'd probably be good to make it a little more round first, or make sure I really have the groundwork a little better. But yeah, this is how quick you could do a Minecraft character. Blender is free, so if you want to, you can follow along and actually do this as well if you want. But yeah, there you go. Thank you guys. There we go. Alright. Thank you guys. Good night, Cookie. Thank you so much. Thanks for enjoying my new screen. Thank you. Hi guys. Let's see. So I'll be talking for like another 20 or so minutes. So I'll be paying attention to you guys more. And during the stream. This is really fun. Actually, you guys, before this, you guys actually chose what to do. I gave you an option to do either Toon Boom, to do a Toon Boom puppet, where I wanted to do the G4 characters in the art style of G5, the first minute or so. Or do a 3D Blender horse with the chibi style. So I did mention that it was going to be this particular style. So, but yeah, I know it was 4-to-1, and for that one person, we will be doing the Toon Boom stuff in that project after we do this. So, unfortunately, I think this Blender stuff is probably going to take stream time probably 2 hours a week. I mean, it probably depending on how much I do between streams as well. This is probably going to take like 2 months, probably around, at best. Maybe faster. Maybe let's see. So what I want to do is do an entire, start to finish with this of, obviously you got to see the 2D reference, and then we're going to make the 3D model of the character, which is just making the mesh that kind of goes around the character. Do some shadings and colors, texture it, and then the real fun part is rigging it, where we add the armature and bones, making a skeleton so that the mesh can actually bend and weave around the to create some better poses. And want to also make some hopefully pretty simple controls for the face and maybe some other stuff. Definitely the wings are going to probably be more complex. In my mind, I'm just going through visualization of what I think that could look like. And Star's right about that. Yeah. Link description for the Discord link. Greenwater Club. But yeah, I want to do some very, very simple controls. I think for the wings, I might do Might do some sprite sheet style textures for the wings instead of modeling them out. I'm thinking might just have a bunch of different pictures aligned on an image plane, and then have some math and mapping nodes, and the nodes that I couldn't figure out to be able to shift the texture around so that the 2D picture can change the phase of how the wing can flap. I'm also going to do probably the same style for the eyelids. I'm sure I'm going to explain this a lot of times of how complex the eyes are going to be. I'm not exactly sure my final result of final, method of how I want to do the eyes. The eyes are going to be so complex if I do it wrong. So what I do is hopefully a very simple, elegant way of doing it. I did look up some tutorials just to see like how other people do it, and they're not super complex to do like an eye blink, but either you're gonna need a whole bunch of mesh, a whole bunch of vertices, and a whole bunch of information around the eyeballs just to get to pull the eyelid down. I've also noticed that, especially you can look at me because I'm going to make the same thing in 3D, is there's no black eye ring around the eyeball. So let me see if I can point it out. So around from here, around the eyeball, around the white part, there's no black ring to say where the eyelid is. But when I blink, I don't know if I can, there you go. But when I blink, this shows up as a way to show where the eyelid middle center is. But it's like, wait a minute, I don't have this black ring. How does this show up when the eyeballs are open? Where do they have to hide so I can actually do that? So I'm thinking of some ways, some pretty sneaky 2D ways of having like a 2D plane that can then be a texture sheet again, that can so when I want it I can like show the visibility of it and have it kind of go shrink wrap it around the eyeball. So yeah, there's a lot of like way complicated sounding ways to make it so that eventually when I actually go to animate it, I can just have like a slider to say like, a driver slider to say eyeball off, eyeball on, and then just kind of slide between it. So, but a way to get to just having a slider is a lot of sometimes doing these kind of rigging stuff can actually be more complex than just animating, because you have to like set them up as like a coding kind of a setup and do real math at some points. Like I have to do like variables and maths, timesing, multiplying, and sometimes even making parabola curves and stuff to make some of these drivers work. And it's like, whoa. So like by the end of it, it's like, oh, as an animator, then I just get a little slider and say yes or no. But that's what I would say is the most complex part of 3D is probably going to be the rigging and getting the character set up so I can have all the controls to make it easy to actually animate it. So same thing with Toon Boom and Flash with puppets too. It's just kind of setting up the character. It's actually harder than just animating it. Hi, Joker. How are you? I'm doing good. Yeah, just kind of finished the stream. I feel pretty good. Made a Minecraft Force kind of style by the end of this, so I feel pretty good. My computer's not doing good, so hopefully the my mic's going pretty good. I think it's probably just the I haven't really. My computer has been on for close to probably like half a week or so. I've had AsiaDQ open live, like open probably open. I haven't restarted my computer. I probably should have. It's probably for Thursday. I'll probably have to quickly just restart it to clear any. There might be some memory stuff or something that's getting too full. Excuse me, that computer's not too happy to be able to do this perfectly. I think it's doing pretty good, especially now I don't have anything visually going on, except for this beautiful picture. Wow, beautiful. Yeah, I think otherwise, let's see. How are you guys doing? I know this is gonna be a new frontier for me to get this going. But how you guys faring? Just so I could have some time to drink here. Cause yeah, talk about New Year's. But yeah, recently I've just been in this mad dash of trying to really work on the Derpy movie project. It's been a lot. I'm decorating. I'm set dressing the 3D sets, and it's just been a long haul. Because every time I feel like I'm done, or like I get to a pretty close point that's like, look, I did all these assets, and then like I'd sleep and then come back and it's like, it'd be really cool. Be like, ooh, how about 3 more props, or well, that doesn't look good. Let's change the texture. Let's redo this. And it's like I've redone a couple assets. Like I've redone run asset like probably like 2 times. So obviously I had to get the 3D set at least in a very 99% complete complete, just have to be complete enough that if I wanted to, I could put a camera in and feel confident enough that I could animate it, put like the 2D characters in and then be able to just do it and not worry about, well, what if I add this new thing that'll, might actually obscure the camera, and create discontinuity, where it's like, whoops, this big thing that I just added might actually go in between the character and the camera, and so that'll be bad. So I'm just being really careful and making sure that I really have everything set up first. But I keep getting scope creep, where it's like, this isn't good enough, I need to add more. I need to just keep making this look better and better, and it's just taking so much longer than I thought to get this going. So yeah. Overnight inspiration. Yeah, I have a lot of shower thoughts where after a shower it's like, whoops, that's a brilliant idea, and it might be more work for me, but that's actually how I came up with a new version of the ending, which is a complete 180 from the original ending that I came up with 3 years ago. And I feel like it's a little better, hopefully. So now the ending is completely different, but thankfully nothing probably needs to change once I Lucas it with putting every part together. Once I string all the different parts into one video, I'm gonna edit probably over 90% of the shots to add one little thing to each shot, so just to clean it up and make sure it's the perfect vision, but I think otherwise, I don't think my new ending that I had a couple months ago, this isn't too new. I had it probably in the fall or something, last fall. That's when I inspiration was yeah, it's more gonna be affecting the chapter after I'm working on right now. So I think I'm working on 6 right now. So I think 7 is definitely gonna be changed a lot, and then even I know where I'm gonna split 7 and 8. So 8 is gonna be the most change out of what I got so far. So, at least on a storyboard, it's going to be very, very different. So, that's the plan right now. So, even if I'm only working on 6 right now, it's like I'm already knowing like where I need to go and where I'm heading. Just make sure everything's continuity wise and making sure everything's good. Because otherwise, if I I know with the story that if I didn't change where I am with 6, then 7's not gonna make any sense. So that's good that I've already figured that out, and I'm pretty confident that this will work out really good. Well, hopefully you'll be the judge. But yeah, I know some of my I actually rewatched all of the parts last night just to get a good visualization of where I where I started and where I am, and it's like those first couple, chapter 2 and 3 and 4, pretty, especially 2 with the 3D, it's pretty rough. That was like Blender 2.7 or 7.9 or something, like right before 8. I think I got like 8 during the production of chapter 2. That was like a huge change in how the Blender UI looked. So it was a big change of like just like I was trying to learn Blender at the time, and then I completely changed the UI and how everything. Oh, where's the buttons now and keyboard shortcuts and everything's different. So it's like as you're working on it, it's like whoops, that's not there anymore. So I've learned from that. So now I'm good. But yeah, I keep learning stuff, and I'm definitely feeling pretty more confident each time I do a chapter. That I feel like this chapter it's gonna be the best I can probably do at this point, with all my skills that I got. So I'm pretty excited for it. Hope you guys are too. But yeah, I'm actually pretty excited. But scope creep and overnight inspiration like that is setting in. As like I probably just need to just say stop and just actually work on the animation. It's all I've been doing the past like month or so has been working on a 3D set and just making assets and putting them in place and dotting the assets around. And each asset can take like over probably like two afternoons or evenings and all that. Like these things actually take a lot of time to like make one asset, because that's like model it and texture it, and the way that I texture it is actually pretty slow. But yeah, so like each asset is individually crafted and everything's unique to a point, you know. But yeah, every little thing is considered. So it's really fun, especially where we are now. Spoilers for part 5, I guess, is that they're going to a new location. So, and it's completely unique. It's completely unique. It's really fun to build that world. Yeah, exactly. So I know I completely, I started with this is Ponyville, this is the Ponyville train, and then the city was pretty unique. I think the city was very unique, but it was still like Manhattan inspired. But now where we're going is like it's a new place entirely. So I'm very excited to get working on it. Let's see. What like about them? I want to separate them by cards. Episode titles. Oh, episode title cards. And note the time the original. Note the time the original was uploaded. Interesting. The way that I cut them was pretty deliberate, and I feel like, in a sense, I don't know if title cards might be too obtrusive. I don't know. It's a good idea. I'm just not sure if I'm feeling it. If you know what I mean, because I feel like they can kind of flow in. Each kind of chapter kind of ends on a pretty slow note, and then it's like an establishing shot. Or it's like okay, so it ends on like a vista overlooking the next place, and then the next chapter starts at an establishing shot of it, of the new place. So I deliberately split them up by area because it's like a world tour with the movie. So maybe I could do like if anything, maybe do like those shows that have like the bottom thirds where it kind of has a keyboard, really cheesy, kind of like doo 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 doo, that types out like Melbourne, doo 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 doo, of like where we are now. Guess the only problem with that as well is I don't really have a name for every place. Or just supposed to like just kind of watch the movie anyway. I also don't like adding too many words inside of the movie. That's why I don't have voice acting or text, so I can be more. So anyone can watch it in the world, because obviously it's not just America who's watching this, or English people. So I feel like it's much more fun and more worldly if I just have it be little charades and little flanagraphs to explain the story when I need to. Let's see. Noted the time. That this was done over a long period of time. You have approved sense the early ones. That's why I'm trying to Lucas it in a sense that episode 1 can be on the same quality as episode 8 for my movie, is that I'm going to go back to 1 and I'm going to go back into the raw animation files and update it. That's the plan, is to go back in and upgrade them so that they feel like it's the same quality throughout. Because I know that I have spent like 2.5 years just working on animating it, and I definitely got better over time. So that is the plan, is to go back in and make it more cohesive. And if anything, I could probably put like links to each individual chapter for the full movie, and then it'd be up to the user to then note like the time of when it was uploaded, and then see like, oh, this was uploaded in 2020. Wow, okay. And then the latest one was 2030. Incredible. See you, Dakota. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm trying to, once I get once I finish the story, just like with the chapters, then I'll go back and really fix it up. And that's what I meant by the Lucas Redux, is that I'm going to go back in and add as many dinosaurs that can cross over the screen as I want, and just kind of fix things up. Especially chapter 1 and 2 are definitely the roughest ones. Hi, Led. Welcome. Hello. Chapters 1 and 2 were definitely the roughest. 3 is about when I hit my stride, at least with the 3D sets and stuff, because 3 was the city. 1 and 2 were Ponyville. 2 was the train. So the train was it was like my first 3D set. So, and I only had it for like 2 shots. Because I actually would go back and forth between it actually being a 2D background and then a completely 3D set. So, and the 3D sets were mainly really only used for when I wanted the camera pan and to make it seem much more dimensional, was to put it in 3D. But now I realize that maybe it'd be best to just go and, because now I have the 3D set, that I could just clean that up to have better geometry, to then it can better match up with the 2D version and make it look like just seamless. And just like re-edit it and remake it so that every shot of the train is then a 3D set and make that look good. You know what I mean? So stuff like that is what I want to do. That was the plan, was to do that. Obviously that's a lot more work, but if it's gonna be the final version of the movie, then I'm willing to spend a couple more months just to clean it up, and because I want it to be as best as I can be. And so that means doing a whole bunch of work. I feel like I'm ready to take that on. I'm already invested like 3 years in this already. What's another 4 or 5 months to clean it up to make it look as best as it can be, and then stitch it together as one big thing and say, look at this. As well as I think it'd be fun to do a little side-by-side afterward of the chapter version and then the full movie version, and then see like, look, I added a door into this shot, and see like all the fun improvements I can do to it. As well, it'd be fun to like stitch together. It's meant to be as one thing, you know, as one continuous thing. So I just kind of broke it off at very specific points. So if anything, it should flow even better being as one continuous movie, you know. So there's that as well. That'd be fun. Yeah, I'm very excited about this. This is becoming my magnum opus. This is becoming my next huge project. That's why I'm devoting 100% of my time, you know, onto this project, compared to trying to split it up, at least on my YouTube channel wise. I'm not splitting it up into movie and trying to do a monthly video. I explained this a couple years ago. That's like, if I'm gonna spend, you know, who knows how long making a 15-minute movie, I feel like it'd be best if I spend as much time as I can on it and try to get it as good and complete as I can get it, you know, rather than like, oh, this is the movie, whatever, I gotta work on this timely, you know, video that I want to do and complete this video within a month, you know. That's how I was working like a couple of years ago, was that I would try to do. It was kind of wound up. It's like I got into like a weird habit of scheduling it, that I would try to get the video done by around the last week of the month and then start on the next one immediately. So I realized that, wait a minute, if I wanted something, you know, that timely, and I could barely get that done within a month, you know, to get that monthly video done. Like I was, you know, 11th hour and trying to burn the candle on both ends kind of style to get that done within a month. That was like, if I'm going to also do an entire movie, how am I going to possibly timeline-wise also do that? So it's like, okay, I had to make the big decision of whatever I wanted to do, like the monthly ones for longer, do more in those, or work on a movie full-time. So I chose the movie, and just like, I feel like that's much better, because then I can spend as much time as I want it, make sure I can really clean it up and really make it as best as I can get it. I know that it is pretty rough in some parts. I know some parts are confusing story-wise, but I actually do it in this episodic format. Actually does make each, by having your comments, I'm able to read them, evaluate them, see what you guys are going for with your comments, and so I can use that to then hopefully make the next episode that much better. So I appreciate all your comments as well too, because they just make me stronger to like understand like what you guys actually want out of these, or what you guys don't understand, and what I can add into it to make it a little bit more enjoyable as well, you know. So some of the story stuff of like what's going on with the snakes, and especially in chapter 1, the mongooses and those kind of creatures, what was going on with that. I know that was confusing on episode 1, because it's like, what's going on? But once we get going, especially like in chapters 7 or 8, it becomes full circle, and we'll explain that a lot more. So it's like, ooh, I know guys, when you're watching chapter 1, this doesn't make any sense, but just wait. Just wait 3 years, and then you'll get it. So, yeah. Have a good stream. Thank you, Sati. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Thank you. You too. Yeah. So probably like wrap this up pretty soon now, and then actually probably see if we have dinner ready yet. And I'll keep working on the movie actually the rest of the night. So yeah. Also clean up the reference images for the Derpy 3D model here, for the stream here, and we can go and keep going with that, and then we'll actually legit like actually model it a little bit better. Take my time with that, than the Minecraft version. So yeah, until then, we'll see you guys then. I think that's I think Sati's on the good point that we could probably wrap this up now. So yeah, thank you guys again. Oop, I have too many things going on here. Thank you guys again. I do appreciate you guys for coming out. These are always really fun. Thank you guys. Yeah, until then, guys, thank you so much, and hope to see you again. Arm's actually more wiggly than usual. Look at that, I can, like, kind of bend my wrist a little bit. Not used to that. Yeah. Thank you guys. We'll be back on Thursday at 4 p.m. PST, which is apparently around 2 a.m. I don't know for some people. Or was it 1 a.m.? I don't know. But yeah, thank you guys so much. And we'll see you on Thursday. Thank you guys. Bye, guys. Bye. Yeah.